So in our next demo, we're going to take a look at tools that we have available for you to use in Cloud Shell and also integration with VS Code. Now let's take a look at some of the editors that are available inside of Azure Cloud Shell. So we do a get dash command and we look for VI, Nano, and Emacs. We see that all of those editors are available for us to work with. We can also use a stripped down version of code based on the Monaco editor inside of Cloud Shell. So let's go into our directory. So I'm going to go into my Cloud Drive, and then I'm going to go into my scripts folder. And if I want to take a look at and work with a script that's inside of my Cloud Drive, I can simply type in code and the name of the script that I want to work with, and it opens up that script inside of Azure Cloud Drive. And then I can simply go into the editor, put in this is a change. I can go up here, I can save, I can quit out of my editor, and now that script has been modified. So it's quick and easy for you to be able to edit, modify scripts that you have inside of Cloud Drive. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is, let's go through the process and take a look at some of the tools that are available inside of Cloud Shell. So if I do a get dash module and use the list available parameter, it lists all of the available modules that are available inside of Azure Cloud Shell. So we see a ton of modules that are available. So let's say I want to find the modules that are available for SQL Server. So put in find module, look for SQL or SQL, depending on how you want to go about that. And notice it brings up a bunch of different modules that are available, many of them being in the PowerShell gallery. So if I want to install and use one of these modules, I can simply do an install module. In this case, I'm going to add in the PS teaching tools. And then I'm going to import that module in so that it's available. And the great thing about going through this is now these are going to be resident in Cloud Shell and always available for me when I go in. So that's another great reason for using Cloud Shell is your tools are going to be available and always installed for you. So to verify that install, I'm going to simply use a get dash command to look at the module. We see that all of my commands are available from the PS teaching tools. So that's quick and easy for you to explore and install some of the tools. And if we go out to docs on Microsoft.com, there's a great features and tools page that shows you all of the tools and languages that are supported with Azure Cloud Shell. So as you can see, when we get down there, there's a number of Linux and Azure tools, the text editors, as we saw, and then it works with a number of the popular containers like Docker, Kubernetes, you can use Helm, and it also works with configuration management and an infrastructure as code tools such as Terraform and Ansible. Now let's take a look at important extensions to have in Visual Studio Code when working with Azure Cloud Shell. So the first extension, we have the extension sidebar open here, is to add in the Azure account. So we simply search Azure account from the marketplace. And when I click on that, we see that what the Azure account extension does is it allows us to be able to sign into our subscription, and it gives us a number of different commands like Open Bash in Cloud Shell and Open PowerShell in Cloud Shell. So it gives us an easy way to securely access our resources in Azure. The next extension is the Powershell extension. So this is an extension built by the PowerShell team at Microsoft. And basically, it brings in many of the key features that you find in tools like the ISE into Visual Studio Code. So you have the ability to use that with your PowerShell language. So it gives you a lot of support when you're working with PowerShell. So now let's take a look at using Azure account. So when I do a Control-Shift-B from the command palette, I chose Open PowerShell and Cloud Shell. At this point, what it's doing is it's going through the process of requesting my shell. So if I scroll up here, you see it's requesting my shell. Once that request goes through, then I'll be able to run code inside of Azure Cloud Shell. Now that we're connected in, Let's go ahead and just do a simple directory listing. So if I do a dir, you see that it accesses Azure Drive and shows me all of my subscriptions. Now I'll go to a PowerShell script that I have locally. I simply run selected text. It puts it right into the terminal and it allows me to run. So this is a quick and easy way to be able to take code that I've built locally and to be able to run it up inside of Azure. So those are two great extensions that you should be using if you're using Visual Studio Code with Azure Cloud Shell.